This might be the moment everyone has been waiting for, because what I'm about to tell you has sent shockwaves through every currency discussion board, every investor group, and every global economics forum online. And if you're hearing this right now, you're already ahead of millions who still have no idea what's unfolding behind closed doors. So, listen carefully and make sure you stay with me till the end, because every second of what comes next matters. Over the past 48 hours, a storm of speculation exploded after discussions claiming that the Central Bank of Iraq could be aligning toward a monumental shift, a shift so enormous that people have started referring to it as the moment that resets everything they thought they knew about currency valuations, international monetary strategy, and how emerging market nations position themselves on the global stage. Now, before we dive deeper, I want to make one thing extremely clear. What you're hearing today is based on ongoing conversations, trending reports, and economic interpretations circulating globally, not an officially verified financial announcement, which is why your attention and your critical thinking are absolutely essential. But still, the buzz is unavoidable. The number gaining traction is $3.81 per IQD, a figure that has sparked excitement, skepticism, debates, arguments, and even overnight watch parties from people tracking every move out of Baghdad. And while this number hasn't been confirmed by any governmental publication, what makes the situation explosive is that it aligns with years of speculation, regional planning discussions, and the potential economic reforms Iraq has been openly developing to strengthen financial stability, increase international confidence, and expand their non-oil economic structure. Combine this with ongoing conversations in Vietnam, where online chatter has surged around the hypothetical idea of the Vietnamese Đồng aligning closer to a dollar parity model, again, strictly speculative and not an official government stance, and suddenly you have two major currency discussions dominating global attention simultaneously. People everywhere are asking the same question. If these countries are indeed preparing to reposition their currencies in a world shifting toward new economic alliances and digital settlement structures, what does it mean for investors, traders, expatriates, regional markets, and the overall balance of foreign reserves? And that's exactly what we're breaking down today. So if you haven't already, hit that like button right now, because this video is about making sure you fully understand the realities behind the hype, the economic logic behind the speculation, and the possible global ripple effects if even a fraction of these discussions ever move into real-world policy decisions. This is about clarity, not confusion. As these conversations continue to unravel the layers one by one. What makes the situation even more fascinating is how global analysts, independent researchers, and online financial commentators have started revisiting old models and projections to compare them with today's emerging geopolitical patterns. Because whether or not any dramatic currency adjustment ever happens, the economic landscape of 2025 is undeniably shifting. Iraq has been working on strengthening its banking sector, improving compliance processes, modernizing financial infrastructure, and increasing digital payment adoption, steps that historically precede major economic restructuring. These reforms don't guarantee a massive revaluation, but they show a country trying to position itself for greater economic independence and international integration. Meanwhile, Vietnam continues drawing worldwide attention due to its rapid manufacturing expansion, its growing influence in global supply chains, and its competitive export strength, all of which have led economists to revisit older projections about the Dong's long-term potential. It's crucial to remember, though, that achieving a $1 valuation would require enormous systemic shifts that no country undertakes lightly, especially when exports rely heavily on maintaining competitive currency levels. That said, the speculation continues because people see movement, real movement, in how both nations are evolving. And this is where psychology comes into play. When enough people start discussing a possibility, when enough digital analysts start running models, and when enough economic influencers start posting interpretations, the conversation begins to feel larger than the facts themselves. That's why your understanding matters so much. You can't let hype replace logic, and you can't let fear or excitement cloud the bigger picture. What you need is clear perspective, and that's exactly what this channel provides. We look at the data, the historical patterns, the political context, the trade structures, the global banking environment, and the realistic potential outcomes, not just the viral claims circulating online. And as we examine all angles, one thing becomes truly undeniable. The world in 2025 is transforming, alliances are shifting, central banks are upgrading their digital frameworks, and global markets are preparing for a future where currency strength is intertwined with technological adoption and geopolitical positioning. Whether or not the figures of $3.81 or $1 ever materialize, what you're witnessing right now is a global conversation about financial sovereignty, national strategy, and the evolution of international monetary power. So, if you're still with me and appreciating the breakdown, make sure you subscribe because this conversation is far from over and you need to stay ahead of what comes next. Let's bring everything together so you can truly understand what this moment represents, not just for Iraq or Vietnam, but for every viewer watching who wants clarity in a world overflowing with noise. Speculation alone doesn't move markets, but coordinated reforms, policy adjustments, and evolving economic goals absolutely do. And that's where the real story sits. Iraq is navigating a future in which oil dependency must shrink, foreign investment must increase, and regional partnerships must strengthen. Vietnam is operating within a competitive export-driven model, while simultaneously rising as a global manufacturing powerhouse. When people hear numbers like $3.81 or $1, they imagine instant change, overnight transformation, and sudden wealth. But real economic development is gradual, strategic, and rooted in long-term national planning. So, even though the excitement online is reaching unbelievable levels, your responsibility as a viewer is to distinguish possibility from confirmation, analysis from rumor, and speculation from policy. And that's why channels like this exist, to provide context, to offer a grounded interpretation, and to make sure you're not misled by viral headlines or sensational claims. Still, it's fascinating to witness how quickly global attention can shift, how conversations from Baghdad to Hanoi can light up the internet within hours, and how economic curiosity continues to grow among everyday people who are finally paying attention to how currencies shape the world around them. But here's what matters most. You must stay informed, stay analytical, and stay connected to credible discussions, because the next few years will reshape the financial landscape in ways most people aren't prepared for. Digital currencies, international settlement networks, central bank modernization, and evolving geopolitical alliances are going to influence your world more than you realize. And that's why your engagement matters. Your ability to think critically, your willingness to learn, and your commitment to staying updated through reliable analysis. So, if you've made it this far, make sure you tap that like button right now, share this video with someone who needs clarity instead of chaos, and hit subscribe so you never miss the deeper truth behind the headlines. Your voice, your curiosity, and your engagement are what keep this channel alive, and together we'll continue exploring every angle of this rapidly changing financial future.